An all-electric Mercedes-Maybach. This one here is the Mercedes EQS SUV in the Maybach version. So basically two things that are new with this one here. First of all, the all-electric Maybach and also the EQS SUV. So for the EQS and for the EQE, the electric S-Class and the electric E-Class, they will both be SUV versions. So a Mercedes EQS SUV and the Mercedes EQE SUV. So this is the Mercedes EQS SUV in the Maybach trim, so with this typical Maybach grille, vertical fins, but all the way closed in this typical Mercedes EQ shape for the electric vehicles, but with a standing Mercedes style. And what we see here is clearly that the electric vehicles in the Maybach or also in the AMG version, as we've now also shown to you in the EQS AMG, they are not that different from each other as the combustion engine versions, at least I think though. What do you think then? Here, you can see here very, very slim headlamps. Here so far in the prototype stage. Also with a two-tone paint, typical Maybach. But we also saw that in the EQS, for example, in the non-Maybach version, you can also get two-tone paint meanwhile. So this is on the same platform as the EQS sedan. Here 24-inch wheels. If they become reality, well, meanwhile, this is also not that special to have super large wheels, but they are extremely large, more than, whoa. Maybe you can take your mirror inside there. And then we can see also a stretched roof line, so not this kind of boxy style. This will rather than be the G-Class in the EQ version. Integrated door handles also, they also then come towards you. The interior is not finished yet, but it will also feature more fabric, even in this Maybach version, so they are more and more going away from the animal skin. It's also good that they also introduced it for the Maybach. Well, the interior is somewhat covered, but you can see it will also feature the MBUX Hyperscreen, this whole glass panel, and then with the three different screens, of course, then in this case, I guess, included in this top trim level, but here at the moment still covered. But also tune into our EQS episode and you know basically how the interior looks like somewhat. As for the range, we can expect some, somewhat similar figures as we know from the normal EQS sedan. So maximum of like 600 kilometers, 370 miles with a big battery, 108 kilowatt hours net. Maybe they also offer a little bit smaller battery as an entry-level trim, but definitely also very streamlined, but just a little bit higher than the normal EQS sedan. So I would like to know from you what you think of bringing this one as a Maybach version, and what you think about this big SUV trend in the electric segment. This one will then also somewhat conquer with a Tesla Model X, but they, as I said, will have the EQS SUV and the EQE SUV. Let's follow here back to the back. Here, by the way, interesting also new idea with all the Maybach logos here, but it looks a little bit cheap, doesn't it? So usually I would expect, just this logo right there, and then this is also a real one here towards the C pillar. Yeah, the one and the B pillars, rather a little bit cheap, I think. Then here in the rear, you can see also very, very slim light strip, round structures, and that's also what I said about Mercedes design recently. They really focus on the Chinese market and therefore go for more round shapes and not the typical German Mercedes style, as we, for example, know from really beloved models, especially from the 80s and 90s or something. Where Audi goes in a different direction, definitely. You can see here Mercedes, but also in the Maybach badge. And very interesting here, this lower area with this diffuser, you can really touch this. So this is, not only behind some closed grille, this is actually for real. So the interior will also feature a chauffeur seating, so single seat setup. And we recently saw that with the Audi Grand Sphere concept, this maybe like A9 electric or something. They will also offer a vase on the interior for flowers. So flowers seem to take over the car interiors now. So let me tell you what you think about the new Maybach EQS SUV. See you in the comments, and of course tune into the all-electric G-Class we are also showing you here from IAA Motor Show in Munich.